I will be the first to admit that this movie's plot is probably a very hard sell, but I'm very happy that this movie got greenlit. Very quickly, if you enjoy the cut of my jib, consider hitting subscribe. Not only will it keep you up to date with the latest movies I cover and review to add to your watch list, but you're also going to make my day. But with that being said, let's get on with this one, The Drop. So I'll explain the movie's premise straight away just so you understand what The Drop is and why it was a hard sell. We're following a couple, Manny and Lex, and one of Lex's friends is getting married abroad, so they're travelling for the wedding here. Once they've travelled, the couple getting married, they have a small child, and Lex, she loses her grip a little bit. That's the drop. She drops a fucking baby. Now, would it surprise you to know that this movie is a very, very good comedy? Don't worry, the baby is fine, but that is the moment that just really sets this movie off into motion. So who are Manny and Lex? They're a very chill couple. As I said, they're trying for a baby, and it's quite clear that Manny, he's not with his family as much as he'd like to be from an early conversation with his mum.
Yeah, it's good for the uterine lining. You know I'm trying to make you a grandbaby.
Boy, what's wrong with the uterine line? We love you, baby. Hey, man, you got one more family function to miss before you're out the will. Don't even show up to the will reading.
I'll be at the next one.
I'm just kidding.
Love.
Okay.
Love you, baby.
Sorry,
Handsome.
what time is our flight?
He's kind of the one that's getting strung along. He's clearly the plus one to this wedding, and he feels a little bit just like a plus one in general. Even when we're on the flight, we learn that Lex's friends, they're all quite successful. They all have fucking egos about them.
Secure the cockpit.
It's a solid episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, the airplane episode. Remember I won my first Emmy for that one.
No, I know. I saw you were watching your show.
That's my good luck charm on flights.
And all of the friends, whilst there is a kind of similar through line to them all, they're all very different themselves. Now, once that baby's been dropped though, you can only imagine the conversations that happen about this. You know, we start to see the couples each discussing it in their own kind of bedroom that night, how they would deal with it, how it impacted them. Like I said, there's some egos. But the main here is between Manny and Lex, because whilst they're trying for a baby, it starts calling into question their relationship, whether they're ready for a baby or not, how committed Lex is to having a child. It was a very ballsy premise for this type of movie, and I'm glad they took that leap. Now, this is a comedy, and I will be honest, I was laughing throughout this whole movie. This movie is my type of comedy. All of Lex's friends, they are quite progressive, they are all quite liberal, you know, they're in open relationships, very sex positive families for some of them as well.
Eat that ass up, girl.
Eat it, come on.
Hey, Levi. You might want to plug those headphones in.
Hey, Peggy. Or you could go back to your own seat and use your own headphones. Levi is exploring.
Totally. Yeah.
We're a sex-positive family.
When I say they're taken to the extreme, they're not taken to the extreme in the sense that they steal the show and they have to have the spotlight on them. They're laughably taken to the extreme. There's almost putting a spotlight on those hyper-progressive people and just kind of making a mockery of them. That was always fun to watch. And although you've got Manny and Lex that are quite similar in their relationship, Manny is very much the straight man to this entire group.
Turmeric paste, you're gonna have to apply it directly to the labia, okay?
Okay. All right, we're done. I don't want to have this conversation anymore. It makes me uncomfortable.
Well, it was really
so I would appreciate if we wouldn't talk about our wives' vaginas. Please? Thank you.
And when it comes to the comedy, it does not stop. It does not slow down with the jokes. And it's not as though any one character is trying to just be the comic relief and take the spotlight away from another one. It's just very quick paced, but at the same time, it's very subtle. It's that way where when they make jokes, they don't like pause just to allow the audience to laugh. They just keep going. And all the comedy comes from these very natural conversations. Well, somewhat natural.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. She's good, I'm good. So.
Wow. So amazing.
We don't really ask men how they're doing, and that's
True, bro. It's a societal thing.
It's a big night for everybody.
yeah.
But it's just seeing the reactions bouncing off of it. From Manny more so, but again, even the friends slightly disagree on topic. You know, it's like a lot of the friends struggle to read the room.
Yep. Oh, great. Hey, thanks. All right, Manny's here. Manny's gonna take care of you. Manny's got it.
That is the best way I could probably put it. Not all our friends, well, some have the ego, some are a little bit quirky as well.
Are you not wearing shoes at the airport?
I'm wearing shoes. Yeah, we've got.
How's this for shoes, Charlie?
Oh, no, Frank, come on, man. You're gonna get black paint everywhere.
But the movie is very dramatic as well. Like, some of the smash cuts are just this dramatic ocean scene. The ocean is not some big twist in the movie. It just cuts to this. You know, the movie has this kind of old school tension and build up throughout the entire thing. I thought the struggle between the couples was also fantastic. It balanced the comedy with the kind of realistic conversation and expectations that couples are going to have. And it does bring a lot of very valid and very fair questions when they're questioning themselves, you know, how they would react if they dropped a baby, what if it was their baby. Can't believe I'm saying all this out loud, but that's kind of what happens. But as the movie goes on, the parents of the baby, they're not the biggest fans of Lex for very valid reasons, and so her tension starts rising and she feels awful about what happened, whereas Manny is being her rock.
Hey.
Hey guys. Oh.
You guys doing okay?
We're good.
And that's taken a toll on Manny as well. So when he is then trying to mingle and just get on with the group, who he is very much a fish out of water in.
Join us, buddy. We've been waiting for you.
How's our girl? Yeah, how's she doing?
She's taking a walk. She's doing good.
But that's obviously taken a toll on him because being the plus one and certainly being the boyfriend who was kind of brought along, he needs to be the best boyfriend. He needs to be like the super boyfriend in a group that he, let's be honest, doesn't fit in with. But is the movie ridiculous? It is very ridiculous. And I'm not going to show it, but see the drop itself. I had to pause and just go away for a minute because I was absolutely buckled at just how well it delivered it. I knew it was coming. Even the movie's premise told you that there's a baby drop, so it's quite clear it's about to happen. But even still, when I fully expected it, the way they pulled it off was just great. You know, you've got the characters that are trying to be there and be supportive over Lex dropping a child, but obviously they don't want to be too supportive. You know, some of them are also doing it in that way where they're just doing it for show. You know, they want to do it for their own ego and do it selfishly so that they feel good about themselves. I'll tell you, it's a group that I never want to fucking be around. But they're fun to watch on screen, so that's as far as I'll go with it. So as Lex is starting to come to terms with what happened and starts getting on her 2 feet again.
Oh, no, hoy no. Mucha mala vibra, no. No, mucha mala vibra. Vete, no quiero. No quiero, vete.
Whoa, hey! You gotta call for an emergency vibe check?
Because she's been forgiven and she just wants to get back to where she was, Manny is then the one struggling. You know, he goes out on long walks, he just wants to be by himself, practice his Fortnite moves. Which, I'll be honest, that is way better than Lex's breakdown when she was a little bit worse for wear. So what would I be saying for the drop? It does call itself a cringe comedy, which I personally hate, because it's not that it's uncomfortable, it is just a bit cringe. If you're looking for a new comedy to watch, even a cringe comedy, one that is just quick paced and it is just kind of subtle in a lot of its jokes as well, make time for the drop. You know, none of them are there to steal the spotlight from each other. They all get equal screen time to show just a little bit about how ridiculous they are. And it's also one of those movies where, see the entire cast, you're going to be sitting throughout the whole time on your phone because you recognise all of their faces. The casting was really good as well. They all have perfect comedy timing. But let's be honest, Manny, he steals the show. I want to see so much more from Manny. See, as a straight man, he was fantastic, but also he had a lot of jokes himself. He had a lot of fantastic delivery. Sometimes being the straight man is the hardest delivery to pull off, and he nailed it here. Have you seen The Drop? If you have, let me know what you thought down below. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. It just makes my day. But with all that now been said, as always, thank you so much for watching.